We'll convene the special meeting for January 23rd. Roll call, please.
Commissioner Ide?
Here.
Commissioner O'Donnell?
Here.
Commissioner Mengelberg?
Here.
And Chair Shaw tonight because Mayor Holliday is absent.
Here. All right, thank you. General business, item 3A, resolution number 17-04. Mr. Conkle.
Thank you, Chair and Commissioners. Evening. We've brought before you tonight proposed resolution number 17-04 declaring an emergency and exempting the Oregon City Retirement Center from planning code requirements on a temporary basis. As you may recall, we've adopted two resolutions in response to the cold weather emergency and event that we've experienced over the last couple of weeks. The last weather-related emergency expired on January 16th, 2017. The forecast is predicting sub-33 degree weather for several days, starting Sunday, January 22nd. When this was written, that was the predicted weather forecast coming up. There's been demonstrated and continue to be requests for additional shelter space during these cold weather events and emergencies that we've seen over the last couple of weeks. The Oregon City Retirement Center, located at 515 10th Street, has been able to provide temporary shelter and is willing to continue to provide temporary shelter for up to 16 individuals from 6 p.m. to 8 a.m. 6 p.m. to 8 a.m. each day that the temperature is below 33 degrees. As part of 17, the proposed resolution that you have in front of you tonight, 1704, all the requirements of the previous resolutions and declarations for emergency for sheltering at the location would remain, such as 16 individuals, 6 p.m. to 8 a.m., below 33 degrees, contact with an updating Clackamas Fire, 24-hour fire watch. We also added two additional. One would be extending this through March 31st, 2017. And then the second would be that the building official from Oregon City needs to be notified when the emergency shelter is going to be activated, just so we have that two-way communication and we're aware, so we can notify appropriate individuals in the city as well, staff, to just to be aware of the changing circumstances on the interim basis that it is. So with that, I conclude my presentation and be happy to answer any questions you may have. Obviously, we have the owner and the representatives here tonight as well, if you'd like to hear from them.
Yes, just one question for you. Do you shouldn't you be notified also of this, Tony, or just fire and the building official? Should you be notified also, or?
I'm comfortable that our communication will be sufficient with the building official being notified, and then
Okay.
He has the main responsibility in terms of fire life safety for the city. So
Okay.
We can certainly make sure, though, that the whether it's notifying police of the change that's occurred and whatnot is what we've done in the past.
All right. Any questions for Tony, guys, or
Commentary.
commentary? Okay. Would you like to come up, Art, and tell us what's going on down there and give us a little report?
Yeah, I'd like to speak to one. Maybe I can do this quickly.
Yeah. Get you over here on the floor here. Okay, go ahead.
Yeah, well, during the course of...
Name and
Oh,
city
sorry.
and stuff. So for the record here.
Yeah,
So.
Arthur Johnson, Sr. This is Arthur Johnson, Jr. We live at 505 10th Street in Oregon City,
Okay.
adjacent to the facility, Oregon City Residential Care, 515 10th Street, Oregon City. We have, I think, 10 or 11 days of experience now sheltering the people that need sheltering. We started a little slow. The first night was 4 folks that found out about us. The second night was 5. I'm going to do this from memory and get it wrong. I better have a cheat sheet here. Third night was 5. One night, the weather improved. It was just at 33 degrees, and we had one person come. And then it kicked up dramatically, 12. We even had a night of 17 bed opportunities. Somebody came realized he had a hotel voucher left, and we got a replacement for him, so we ended up serving 17 people that night. And we finished the last 2 nights with 15 each for a total of 109 person beds were filled during that 10-day period of time. We had one occasion, a gentleman who was struggling with some behaviors that was a bit disruptive, and we had to call Oregon City Police. They came. They were extraordinarily patient with the gentleman, and everything went fine. So, but that, other than that, it's just been a whole bunch of grateful people for a warm bed.
That was none of us. Somebody up here.
What? Well, would you like me to repeat something?
Yeah.
No, you're fine.
Oh,
Yeah. So, you had them down there in the basement and then kind of used the big room. But when you get to 17 people, you obviously had to use some of the rooms.
yeah, we ended up using both of the rooms. One's a very large room. The other one's only got 4 beds in it, and so we utilized the entire space. So. Yeah.
So any, what'd you think? Were you prepared for all of that, or did you have to make any decisions or changes?
No, we were pretty prepared. I have staff that has dealt with that population for 8 years. As part of a program I have at Oregon City Residential Care, I set aside 4 beds a month for people that don't qualify for services, and have been doing that since I bought the place, 9 years ago now, I guess. And oftentimes there are people that have similar challenges to the homeless population that we serve there, so we're pretty familiar with their needs and how to get along with them.
Okay. Commissioner O'Donnell.
First, a question, and I'm going to state a number of facts, and you can just verify them. So that I think I want to speak mainly for the benefit of the viewing audience, if there is one. So, in the event when the terms of this agreement are not met, like for example, the temperature were to go way up, have you found yourself having to turn people away?
Yes.
Okay, but you've abided by the agreement in all ways.
Yes.
Okay, and what I want to speak to is, in the event there's an audience that's watching, I took time to go to Clackamas County Health and Housing Services today, and I met with Richard Swift and his team. And although your normal operation as Oregon City Retirement Center is a for-profit venture, when you're serving as a warming center, you're doing this with no compensation whatsoever. You're not getting a setup fee. You're not getting a daily fee for the bodies that you put in there and protect from the cold. And I want people to know that. There are other institutions that actually do at the beginning of a year get a fixed amount to set up, and then they also get a daily fee. You are not getting that, and I want people to know that you're doing that. Once again, the agreement has a established beginning date and ending date, weather conditions. There's no operation if those conditions are not met, and there's no hidden agenda by anyone here, either yourself or this commission. So we have given consideration, and we respect our permanent residents, our people that live nearby. But I am definitely going to support this measure. And everything I've said, would you confirm everything that I've said?
Absolutely true.
Okay. Thank you, sir.
Commissioner Mingelberg.
First, I want to say thank you for the valuable service that you're providing to people in need and in dire situation. Really appreciate that. Secondly, a question. Are the folks that are staying with you primarily repeat customers, or are they new faces?
Some of them are repeat customers. We cycled through 3 or 4 people came almost every time. So that's why I call it, person beds, because we do have repeat people that came.
Great, thank you.
It varied different nights.
Thank you.
Commissioner Ide.
I just wanted to clarify, the resolution says that we're approving this through March 31st. So you have that understanding that it's at your discretion that when the temperature goes below 33 degrees that you are open, or that you can be open.
I understand that, yes.
Okay. And so we don't have to be coming back
No.
to do, which is fine, but it just, makes sense. And then, did Clackamas County ever provide the cots?
They did.
They did?
Yes, they did.
So you have plenty of cots?
I have
and
16 cots.
And blankets?
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah,
okay.
we've supplied the blankets, but that's
Oh, okay.
an interesting side note is that we have to resupply the blankets because they take them with them when they leave. And, and at first I was like, hey, wait a minute, wait a minute.
Yeah.
Better
That's
you should
right.
take them. So,
Yeah.
Okay, that's all.
All right. How is it working with Father's Heart? They start there first, then come up to you. Is that
so
correct?
they call and make the referrals to us, and we're ready outside waiting for them when they come up. And we have a side entrance that we take them down, so they don't have to be a disturbance to the existing folks on the main level there. And we escort them back and forth. It works very well.
Did they have any issues climbing the hill there in the weather?
Yes, they did. Yes, they did.
I thought
We
about
made
that
several
the other
trips
day.
down
Yeah.
there.
Yeah.
We even had an occasion to meet a lady that was dropped off at Father's Heart. She's in a wheelchair and dropped off by her daughter, and with the intention of leaving her there. And she was a ill person, diabetic, and hadn't had insulin. And they called us for support, and we went down and we did an assessment, got her to the hospital, and the team down there at Father's Heart did a great job handling that stressful situation.
Right.
It's very cool.
Good.
And she's with us. She's still with us because we have the ability to provide some nursing care for her.
Okay.
Oh, so you moved her from the shelter then into...
Sent her to the hospital. The hospital called, so we don't have anywhere to put her. So took her home with us.
There you go. Good. Okay.
One more time.
Oh, Mr. O'Donnell.
I
Commissioner
may,
O'Donnell.
I
excuse
may
me.
say that the county was very complimentary of you in that very specific instance. They're well aware of it. I spoke to them today about it. Something else, if it was of concern to our residents, if people arrive there, they are not being bussed in. They may take public transportation, is what I'm told, but they're not being picked up
To
and
my
brought
knowledge,
in.
they're not
No,
being
I'm telling you,
picked-
this
yeah,
is that's
yeah,
what I've
yeah,
asked.
okay.
And there's a concern that the question came up with, remember when we were busing people down to Molalla? Well, quite honestly, I asked what did they provide an exit strategy, and they actually provided transportation out the next morning for those. So if there's any questions from the viewing audience, I just wanted them to be aware of that. It's not like people get dropped off and you inherit them.
No, it's not like that at all.
No. Well, you have to overcome these things in
Yeah,
the
I hear you.
community. Thank you.
Did you want to go?
No,
Are you
I'm just ready for motion.
Mr. Conkle, is it okay to speak about the progress of the retirement center itself, or what they're thinking about for shelter for, what are we calling that?
Temporary shelter?
Temporary shelter, other than the warming center, but the big picture down
Upstairs,
there.
yeah.
So I didn't know if it was okay to talk about this at this time.
It's not a land use decision, so you can.
Okay. So would you bring us up to date on what else is happening down there as far as a temporary or transitional housing? I guess that's what we're calling it.
Transitional housing is
Yeah.
what we're calling it. And I don't really have any fresh information about that because of I think it's basically because of the weather that hit us all and the holidays and getting through all that stuff. So I don't have
All right.
much to report there.
And if you would like to keep in touch with me, I'm going to be kind of the liaison for you on that between all of that stuff. So, okay, I guess
Okay.
we're ready.
Okay. Well, in that case, I'd like to move approval of resolution number 17-04, declaring an emergency and exempting the Oregon City Retirement Center from planning code requirements on a temporary basis.
Second.
All right, moved and seconded. Moved by Commissioner Ide, seconded by Commissioner Mengelberg. Call it roll, please.
Commissioner Mengelberg,
Aye.
Commissioner Ide,
Aye.
Commissioner O'Donnell,
Aye.
and President Shaw.
Aye. Motion carries. All right, thank you. And appreciate your service here today, guys.
Yes, thank you
Thank you
very
very
much.
much.
Thank you.
Thanks for coming today, too.
Appreciate it.
All right. Communications. Anything else?
I don't have anything to communicate. Just thank you for taking the time to come in for a special meeting this afternoon.
All right, good. Everything else all right? Okay. Adjourned.
Okay.